I've just done a blog, but a few things just sprang into my mind that I wanted to discuss. It was mainly about muscular dystrophy and how other people see us. Mostly just wanted to talk about nights out, which I thought was funny, and how people interact with you. Because obviously, to see somebody disabled, and they obviously sometimes say stupid things, which I can understand, but it's not always funny. But sometimes people say odd things which are actually hilarious. I was just talking about the other day when I went out, and sometimes people just look at you. Funny, there was this guy who, for some reason, decided to come over and kiss me on the head and say something like to do with saluting me because he obviously thought it was a soldier or something, or I can't really think what else it was, but that was quite funny. But it's just so patronising, it's ridiculous. And I mean, sometimes people are trying to be nice, but it is a bit annoying when people are extremely patronising and treat you like you're some sort of imbecile just because you're in a wheelchair. I mean, it is difficult for people because they might not have experienced someone like myself, but sometimes they say moronic things which don't even make sense, like, oh, how does a wheelchair work? And I suppose when you're at the stage of inebriation, which some people are at, you probably will say stupid things like that because if you were sober, you'd probably not even ask that question. So it just shows that inhibitions probably make people want to talk to you more, and when they don't, it's probably because they're nervous and they don't know what they're supposed to say to you. I do enjoy going out, but sometimes it's difficult because you can't really hear what I'm saying. Some people might think because of that I'm dumb or something. But maybe it's just because it's so noisy. I mean, you don't know what to say to somebody because they can't even hear what you say, or they might not be able to understand that I'm smarter than I maybe look to some people. I don't know. I do like to have a drink, but I don't really drink so much that I can't even drag my chair, and probably if I did, I would crash into something anyway. So I would probably get arrested for drunk and disorderly. Which I suppose would be funny because you don't expect that from a disabled person, but I suppose it wouldn't really be good. Don't want to get banned from driving. I just wanted to talk about gaming and disability, which is quite a big subject at the minute. And some people might not think it's very important to play games, but it's good for social interaction and it gives you quality of life. So you can actually be the same as your friends and be able to compete at games that they play and don't just have to stick to mouse driven games which not everybody plays. And I mean, this charity special effect who helped me are pretty amazing, and the stuff they can do I wouldn't have expected a few years ago. But now I've met them and taught them, and you see how enthusiastic they are about getting us into the social aspect of gaming and make everybody see that it's very important to everyone. And when you see all the stories on their page about the younger children, and maybe some of them can't talk or they can't move well, but with help from them, it gives them some sort of creativity and maybe gives them a good quality of life, which otherwise they might not have had. And because they help me so much, I decide to donate to them sometimes. And once I did Movember for them and raised quite a bit of money because I felt that they helped me so much that if I raise money for them, it's good to show how much I appreciate them and that I think everybody else should be able to access the same as me. Which, since I've used it, plenty of people with muscular dystrophy and maybe other conditions have benefited from this service. And for somebody who's a charity, I can't really thank them enough. And, you know, because it's free to us, it's even better. I mean, if it did cost, then I would pay them some money, but it's nice that people give up the time and effort just to help disabled people to be able to access the same technology and play consoles just like anybody else. Another thing they showed me was this thing called GlovePie, which means you can record macros with your voice and then use them in game. But the only thing is, it doesn't really work as well with my voice for some reason. I mean, as you can hear the ventilator now, it seems to think that's a word. So I'm really trying to get into that and see if I can do something to control certain games like Skyrim and World of Warcraft and possibly WildStar, which I'm really looking forward to because that game is sort of like Warcraft, but it isn't. And I think to me it feels like there's more to it, but I suppose others might disagree, but that's just my opinion. And I seem to be able to play most of it, so it's a bit easy for me to play than certain games. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope it's going to be as good as I expect. It's always fun to get a new game and try it out and see how far you can get, maybe. I have had other games that I've bought in the past which I thought would be really fun, like Elder Scrolls Online. But the only thing is, I haven't really had time to play it, and it's a bit more difficult using voice commands without it actually running around, jumping up and down without you saying anything. So I have to use the keys on the on-screen keyboard, which sometimes is a bit irritating, but I need to find a way to do this that isn't irritating. The final thing I wanted to mention was the charity I'm involved with, DMD Pathfinders, which is probably the best idea I've seen in quite a while, because there really hasn't been any charities for disabled people, well, adults with muscular dystrophy, especially DMD, and I thought we could really help people, and I'm very excited to see what we can do and maybe these different fundraising events we can organise, and just the whole group and our community is brilliant. And it's good to talk to each other about different things with MD, which otherwise you wouldn't really talk about because people probably wouldn't understand without our condition. And maybe it wouldn't be something you want to talk publicly about. But because we all have the same condition, we understand what it's like in certain situations, which I really enjoy because it gives a good idea of how everyone lives, and to be able to see how muscular dystrophy is treated in different countries. But the main thing is, for me, is to get people to understand our disability more and sort of have a better understanding to hopefully be able to talk to people like ourselves more. I mean, that's just an idea, but it was just something that came to my mind. But yeah, the community's brilliant, and I can't wait for our further endeavours to see what we can do. And hopefully be able to raise lots of money to help disabled people, adults with muscular dystrophy throughout the world, and maybe improve care and quality of life for us all. This video was basically just my ramblings, and I just thought that it would be good to say a few things that I just thought about before I forgot. And I'm sorry about the video quality, but I don't know how to fix that. But I suppose it just gives it an eerie look. I look like some sort of digital ghost thing. And I guess you can tell the time as well, so it's pretty late. But they do say when it's late, you're more creative, which I often find is the problem when I'm trying to go to sleep. But I suppose that's what you do. You think about things at certain times. But that's just life. Well, talk to you later. Bye.